All right, today we're going to dig into this really fascinating ancient story, and it has this surprisingly powerful lesson for us. It's all about how to spot flawed ideas, especially the ones that sound, well, perfectly right.
So let me ask you this. Can an idea, a teaching or a belief that seems totally moral, totally correct on the surface, could it actually be hiding a huge logical flaw? It's a really interesting question, right? And we're going to explore it using this classic example from a really old dialogue.
Okay, so the story we're looking at is this conversation between the Buddha and a follower of another teacher, a man named Nigantha. And let's just start with the first of Nigantha's main teachings.
So right off the bat, this rule seems super straightforward, doesn't it? It's absolute, totally clear. And it lines up with what most of us feel, right? That taking a life is, well, it's a really serious thing with serious consequences. It's a powerful statement. And yeah, most people would probably just nod and say, sure, makes sense.
But that wasn't his only big rule. Nigantha also taught something else, something about how our actions over time actually shape our destiny. So this is the second piece of our little puzzle here.
And again, this one sounds completely reasonable, right? I mean, it basically says that our habits, the things we do day in and day out, are what really define our future. It kind of makes sense. What you do the most is what you become. So everything seems fine. We've got two pretty solid sounding teachings.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. It's all about how the Buddha approaches these two ideas. He doesn't just say, I agree or I disagree. Nope. Instead, he decides to test them. And he does it by putting a really simple scenario in front of one of Nigantha's own followers.
So pay attention to his method here. The Buddha isn't giving a lecture. He's not stating his own opinion. He's just asking questions. First, he gets the guy to admit, yeah, at some point in his life, he has killed a living being. Okay. Then he asks him a follow-up. But what do you do more often? And the disciple is honest. He says, well, obviously, most of my time, day and night, is spent not killing. And that simple, honest answer, that's what sets the trap. It creates this huge logical problem.
All right, so this is it. This is the heart of the whole puzzle. Based on the two rules from his own teacher, where does this guy end up? Does he go to hell or not? I mean, just think about it for a second. His teacher basically handed him two totally contradictory roadmaps for his own destiny.
And this is the moment where the two teachings just slam into each other. You see, when you take them out of theory and apply them to an actual person, this hidden contradiction just explodes into view. And it's a problem you just can't solve, not if you believe both rules are 100% true, no exceptions. This just lays out the problem so perfectly. On one hand, you have rule number 1. He killed, so he has to go to hell, period. No exceptions. But then you've got rule number 2. His most common action is not killing, so he can't go to hell. It's a paradox. The guy is literally destined for two opposite fates at the exact same time.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that a system of belief, or really any set of rules, can look totally solid when you look at each piece by itself. It's like looking at two perfect-looking building blocks. But the moment you try to make them fit together in the real world, the whole thing can just crumble.
And the whole point of this exercise, this whole dialogue, it wasn't just for the Buddha to win an argument. It wasn't about being smug or proving someone wrong. No, it was about teaching a much, much deeper lesson. A lesson in how we should all be looking at the ideas we come across in our own lives.
The way the Buddha does this, it really shows off a special kind of thinking skill. There's actually a Thai term for it, kwam khai. It's kind of like subtlety or nuance. It's the ability to see past the pretty packaging of an idea and really dig into its wiring, its internal logic, to see if all the pieces actually connect, or if, like in this case, they just short-circuit.
So this really brings us to the main point, the thing we should all take away from this. This old story is a reminder that just because an idea sounds good, or maybe it feels familiar, like something we already believe, that doesn't automatically make it true. True understanding, well, that takes work. It means we have to dig deeper, push ideas against each other to see if they hold up, and really examine them, instead of just, nodding along.
And that's how this ancient puzzle becomes a real challenge for us, right here, right now. Think about it. What are the good-sounding ideas of today? The slogans, the beliefs, maybe in politics or in wellness trends, or even in our own personal philosophies. Which ones do we just accept without a second thought? And which of them, if we really applied this kind of careful, subtle thinking, might fall apart and reveal their own hidden contradictions? Definitely something worth thinking about.